Okay, ladies and gentlemen, these are going to be your virtual learning instructions to complete this Density Displacement Lab. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, the instructions state to use the link below to access the interactive lab. This blue hyperlink that says Density Interactive Lab is going to be the link that's going to take you to the website, okay? But let's finish reading the instructions first. Before you begin, you must set up your lab accordingly. You're going to click the blue button at the top that says turn your fluid into water. So once you get to the lab, you're going to see this picture. This is what your lab is going to look like. You must click this button up here that says turn your fluid into water. If you don't, your measurements are going to be off when you calculate your volume using the displacement method, and therefore your density numbers are going to be off as well. So please ensure that you have this clicked. 2, you're going to click on the object's names to create the object. And then 3, you're going to measure the object's mass and volume using displacement. Use those measurements to calculate density for each object. Complete the table and the analysis questions on the next slides. So on this slide here, this is our table. These are all the minerals that you're going to be working with today. You're going to find the final volume using displacement, and you're going to plug that in. And then using the final volume and the initial volume, which I provided for you, you should be able to determine the minerals volume. Because remember, we're just going to subtract the initial volume from the final volume. And then you're going to locate the mass and calculate density. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through on how to do this as an example for the first one. So let's go back to our instructions. I'm going to click this link. It's going to open it up. And this is a screen you're going to see right off the bat. So this is really fun to play with. You can play around with this either before or after. It's up to you. Just make sure that when you're doing the lab, you click this blue button right here that says turn fluid into water. When you do that, it changes this fluid density to 1 gram per milliliter. Because remember, the density of water is 1, so that's what we're comparing everything to. So the first mineral on our lab is gold. So I'm going to go back to my screen here, and I'm going to click gold. And gold is going to form right here. So when the gold sinks to the bottom, my measurement, my final volume is 27.6 milliliters. I'm going to come back to my lab, come to final volume, gold. I'm going to type in 27.6 milliliters. I'm going to double check to make sure I got that right. 27.6, 27.6. Wonderful. Then I'm going to be able to determine the mineral's volume by subtracting 27.6 minus 25.5. So I'm going to open up my calculator. I'm going to use the one on my computer. I'm going to go 27.6 minus 25.5. And that tells me that my mineral's volume is 2.1. So 2.1 milliliters. Now let's go back to the lab. I'm going to pull my little gold out. I'm going to put them on the scale. Right now the scale says 0. But after I place him on there, this tells me that he has a mass, or my little piece of gold has a mass of 40.53 grams. I'm going to come back here. 40.53 grams. Now I have everything I need to calculate the density of this gold. So I'm going to do my density calculation here. So remember, density is mass divided by volume. So I'm going to take my number of mass, which is 40.53. Now I'm going to divide it by its volume, which is 2.1. And yes, I do expect you to show me the setup. I understand you can't work it out by pencil and paper. You're going to use a calculator. That is okay. But I expect you to show me the correct setup. So now I'm going to solve So 40.53 divided by 2.1 equals. So this tells me my density of my object is 19.3. So it'll be 19.3 grams per milliliter, because we have to have our units. This is grams, this is milliliters. We have to have our units. So you're going to do this for every single one, okay? Once you're finished, you should be able to answer these two questions here, which is which mineral has the greatest density and which has the least. And to find that out, you're going to look in this section right here. So you're going to tell me which mineral has the largest number, that's the greatest density, and which one has the smallest number. It's going to be less than 1. That'll be the least dense, or which one has the least density. And that is going to be it for this lab. Once you're done, you can come back and pick the next one, lead or wood. This one right here that is got the green question marks. This is actually a mystery mineral. We actually don't know what it is, but it is kind of fun to solve it too. So you're going to do all 8 of these. You're going to do the mass, find the volume, okay? And then once you're done, you can just play around it if you like and explore some more by hitting reset and randomize and playing with the gears that come at the bottom. That's completely up to you. But just know when you do the lab, it has to be in water. Your fluid density has to be 1 grams per milliliter.